let me say something that might feel really relieving and a little bit uncomfortable. You probably don't need another faith habit. Not a Bible plan, not another routine, not another promise to be more consistent this time. If adding more habits actually worked, then your faith life wouldn't feel so heavy. And if you ever thought, why does my faith still feel off, even though I am trying? This message is for you. Because the problem is not your commitment to God. The problem is that habits were never meant to carry the full weight of spiritual growth. So today, in this video, we're going to address 4 things. Why effort alone keeps leading to exhaustion instead of that connection with God. What's missing when faith practices become that checklist instead of the rhythm of your life. How God's designed you to connect with Him in a way that fits your real life, and how to build simple, sustainable faith rhythms and practices that you can actually live with. No pressure, no perfection, just clarity and a better way forward. Hey there, wise woman. This is Deneen TB, your faith growth and work alignment strategist, helping driven Christian women, professionals, and business owners really design faith growth rhythms and practices that actually fit their busy lives without the pressure of doing more, so that they can lead with purpose and live out their mission in creating lasting influence for God in their work and in their life. So let's begin. Why are faith habits or more faith habits not fixing the problem? Why? Well, faith habits focus really on behavior. Did I read? Did I pray? Did I keep up? But habits alone don't guarantee, like I said, that connection. They work well for systems, but they don't work so well for relationships. And faith at its core is a relationship. When habits don't fit your life, your season, or how God designed you, they quietly turn into pressure, then guilt, then exhaustion. That's why so many spiritually committed women feel stuck. Not because they don't love God, but because they're trying to grow without a rhythm. What you actually need instead of more habits is certainly not more discipline. You need that faith rhythm, a rhythm that isn't about doing something perfectly every single day. It's about having something in a repeatable way to return to God, especially when life wants to pull you away. You know what? Habits say, do this no matter what. But rhythms say, come back to God again and again in a way that fits your life. That's the difference. And that's where real growth begins. Many women already know something isn't working, and you may know this too. So they've reframed what faith growth looks like, how much pressure they've been carrying, and why comparison keeps pulling them backward. But if you've done this insight, if you know this, it doesn't really change your spiritual life. Without rhythm, that insight, all it does is fade. The old patterns return again, and faith stays, well, up here, theoretical, not practical. Growth happens when the connection between you and God, that relationship, is integrated into your daily life and not just added on top of what you're already doing. This is where clarity really replaces confusion. Instead of asking, what am I supposed to be doing? We want to start to ask a better question. And that is, how did God design me to naturally connect with Him? That's where my HSMS model will help you uncover. HSMS. It's rooted in Mark chapter 12, verse 30. And it's about the 4 ways we were created to love and engage with God: heart, soul, mind, strength, right? HSMS. With your heart, that is through emotion and relationship and meaning. With the soul, that's through reflection, imagination, and depth. With our mind, of course, it's through our understanding, truth, and clarity. And with our strength, it is through our action, our movement, that tangible expression. Now, everyone has all 4, but not all 4 lead the same way. When you know which first area comes to you naturally, faith stops feeling forced and it really starts feeling relational again. Then, instead of trying to grow everywhere all at once, because these 4 are not on an even keel with you or with anyone, we have what I call my frame perspective, an actual frame: 4 corners: heart, soul, mind, and strength. The frame helps you to really see where to focus next, because your frame is different than someone else's frame. And it's not by adding more, but it's about aligning your growth and aligning it with the season that you're in life. It shows you how to build on what's already working and then supporting it with complementary practices. And these practices gently stretch you into these new areas of the frame over time. This isn't about doing all the things. I want to make that very clear. It's about doing the right thing in the right way at the right time for you. That's important for you to understand. If you're not so sure which one of these areas that you lead in, that's your next step. That's what you need to do. You need to take my Faith Shape quiz, because what it's going to do, it's going to help you identify how you naturally connect to God and what may be quietly blocking your growth, and where to focus so that your faith rhythm actually fits your life. So you'll see that down in the description. It just takes a few minutes to take, and it brings immediate clarity. I'll put that link, like I said, down inside the description, because I want you to start building that rhythm that works for you right now. So let's talk a little bit more about what to do instead. When I said in the title, do this instead, what does that really look like in real life? So what I want to do is I want to give you some faith rhythms, some examples that you may want to follow. These are really small things that you can do daily and things that are sustainable. So once you take the quiz and you know if you're a heart-led woman and you connect through those emotions and relationship and meaning, some of the examples would be just to read one scripture slowly and then reflect on what it reveals about God. Or maybe use worship music during everyday tasks. Or write prayers instead of forcing verbal ones. Write them out in your journal. Nice examples, right? Write down which one you want to try if you're a heart-led woman. If you're a soul-led woman, if that's what your what I call primary leading is, you connect through that reflection and imagination and depth. So here are some examples of things that you can try. Visualize scripture as a scene. This is especially important to me because I am a soul leading person. Or maybe you can reflect weekly on where you noticed God's presence. It could be something that happened. It could be just in daily recognition of Him. Or create beauty. Maybe you can create beauty through a meal because you love cooking, or through art, or just moments of expression of worship. If you're a mind-led woman, of course, you need clarity, you need understanding, you need truth. So some of your examples are, and I love actually doing this in my journal, is to focus on the character of God. And at the top of my journal page, I think, God, you are. So you can keep a God, you are list focused on His character. Or maybe just study a smaller portion of scripture and go deeper into that particular scripture. Or you could track answered prayers to bring awareness. I love having those two columns in a section of my journal, that here are my prayer requests and here is when God answered or how he answered. And it's a great reminder that you can look back at as well. As a strength-led woman, you connect through, like I said, actions and movement. So some examples that you can try for a new rhythm would be to pray while walking. Kill two birds with one stone kind of to say, but be doing something active and praying at the same time. Same goes with listening to scriptures. You could use physical postures in your prayer, kneeling, standing, arms raised, arms out, whatever it is, right? Or you could serve God intentionally through your everyday work. You could be really cognizant and really focused and intentional about how you're showing up in your work every single day. So none of these really are big, impressive things. And none of them are really that complicated. I think sometimes we complicate our faith life a little too much. But these things are all simply aligned with how God has designed you. So if you found yourself thinking, that sounds like me in one of these areas, whether it was the heart, soul, mind, or strength, I want you to know that you don't have to figure this all out on your own. Actually, I've created a video playlist that walks you through at least Bible study and prayer using this HSMS model. So you can see what it looks like in real life. So I will put that video playlist down in the description because each video is designed to help you practice your faith in a way that fits how you were wired without the pressure, without the perfection. Again, look in the description for that playlist and you can go over there and click on that as well. You can explore which one resonates with you the most. Again, here's the truth that I really want many women to hear. I think you need permission to actually hear this. I want to give you that permission. A rhythm doesn't fail when it breaks. It actually works when it draws you back. So a habit, when it breaks, might break forever, but a rhythm will slowly call you back. Alignment, when it happens, it doesn't add more to your faith life. It actually replaces what was never working in the first place. Faith grows through faithful return, not those flawless routines and habits that you think you need to do, or as I like to say, as you should do. Instead of asking yourself, am I doing enough? Ask this instead. What rhythm, not habit, what rhythm helps me stay connected to God in this season? That question can really guide your faith for this entire year that's coming up. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, you know what, this actually makes sense, but I'm not really sure how to apply it to my life. You don't need to figure it out on your own, as I said. Sometimes the most helpful next step isn't another resource. It's actually a conversation. That is where I want to invite you to my clarity call. This will give us space to really identify what's been quietly blocking your faith growth and clarify how you're designed to connect with God. And we'll talk through what a faith rhythm could look like in your real life in the season that you're in. No pressure, no commitment, just clarity and direction. You can book that call with me using the link again in the description. Let's have a clarity call. And if you'd rather learn alongside of other women who feel the same tension that you do, I'd love for you to join us for my next virtual event. Depending on when you're watching this, you will see the next date when you click. And it's called Find Your Faith Shape. Create rhythms and practices that fit your life and step into your mission with confidence. So if you click that in the description, you're going to get the next date that it's available. So during this event, though, we're going to go deeper into that HSMS model, heart, soul, mind, and strength. And we're going to unpack what that faith shape really means. And we're going to begin actually building rhythms and practices that can actually sustain you without that guilt, without that overwhelm. Again, you don't need more faith habits. You need guidance. You need alignment. You need a rhythm that fits. And you know what? I'd love to walk that journey with you. So right now, before you move on, I want to leave you with a simple question that you don't have to answer perfectly. I just want you to answer it honestly, okay? Because you know what? Having clarity first really begins with awareness. So, what kind of faith rhythm would feel most life-giving to you right now? I'm going to give you 4 examples, 4 choices, okay? 4 choices, and you can just put the letter in the comments. A, feeling close to God emotionally. That would be the most life-giving thing for you right now. B, having space to reflect and go deeper. C, gaining clarity and understanding. D, putting faith into action in my everyday life. Just drop the letter that fits you best into the comments. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. Just naming this for yourself is really a powerful first step. This is Deneen TV. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, be filled to overflowing.